Why, hello there, folks. The noob is pretty exhausted after that month of Sonic videos, so he's off taking a much-needed break.
Open this damn door, Mike. Unlock the door.
So I figured that what he'd probably want, most of all, would be for the show to go on, with or without him.
I never said that. What I want is the damn door open.
And since I'm his best friend ever,
You're not.
I know he'd want me to take over in his place.
I dream of one day killing you.
So here I am, ready to review yet another super chill cool game, Shovel Knight.
If you cut to your stupid opening, then I'm going to punch you straight in your goddamn face.
Go, Mike. Go, Mike. My name is Mike. Come on, let's roll karaoke. Get up on the stage and sing a little ditty for me. No, not me. I'm a karaoke machine. I got two mics on my head and you're singing to me.
That's right, folks. It's your favorite two-dimensional, big-nosed rapscallion. Me. Mike. But I mean, really, you can just call me the noob. Because I feel like I'm probably going to be the new host of this show for quite a while.
I'm just gonna go get a hammer. I'll be back in no time. The door's going to be opened.
Nah, he's bluffing. Okay, so Shovel Knight. Half shovel and half knight. Fighting against the vile Order of Quarters to save the land of Middle-earth and rescue his shield. In this game, you run from side to side in a two-dimensional space, and you also jump. So I like to call this genre of game side-to-side jumping times. You fight enemies with your shovel, which makes sense as the old saying goes, the shovel is mightier than the sword. And yeah, there's honestly not really much to say about this game. I'm just a guy wearing way too much armor, fighting a barrage of dirt with nothing but my shovel. Well, and I can shoot lasers among other things, but whatever, I'm just a friggin' gardener. This game is also way too easy, especially since I'm on the noob's old save file, you know, with all the power-ups already unlocked. It's too easy. They gotta fix that. I've only really played the first few levels of the game, but I can already say that I'm probably giving this game a 7 out of 10. The absolute worst rating imaginable on the internet. The game looks like it was made over 10 years ago. I mean, it is ugly. It's way too easy, and also it's way too hard. And you can't even crouch in this game. I mean, I gotta deduct at least half a point for that alone. 6.5 out of 10, would not recommend. Oh, my face! Oh, actually, he just forgot to lock the door. The lock is tricky. Ow! So yeah, I pretty much just walked in. But anyway, hey everybody, the real host is back. So, what game did this idiot start reviewing anyway? Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight, huh? Well, I've technically already reviewed Shovel Knight. But with that said... While I've already reviewed Shovel Knight and loved it, they've since released a pack of free DLC called Plague of Shadows. Before we get to that though, I should say that this DLC shares a lot of elements and qualities from the original. Obviously, I mean it's DLC. But since I've already talked about Shovel Knight at length in another video, if you haven't seen that one yet, think about watching it before you watch this one. Fair. In Plague of Shadows, you no longer play as Shovel Knight, but instead, Plague Knight, one of the bosses that you originally fought. And the coolest thing is that this isn't just a reskin, it's an entirely new game basically. There are new ways to get through the levels, kill enemies, and collect stuff. There are new power-ups, new gameplay mechanics, a new story, some new music. It's awesome. Right from the beginning, it's obvious that the gameplay has vastly changed. Instead of hitting things with your shovel, you now throw chemical bombs at enemies. You can't pogo off of enemies either, and you don't jump as high as Shovel Knight does. But you do have a double jump, and you can jump a third time by using a burst attack, which launches you through the air. It's unique, and it takes some getting used to, but it's actually kind of impressive how different they made this game feel. And yet it still feels like Shovel Knight, because the control is still so tight and responsive. Although I will say that the burst attack did often get me killed early on. It would launch me too far and right off of cliffs. It's not bad, it's just that, once again, it takes some getting used to. After the first level of Shovel Knight, I felt like I had pretty much mastered the basic controls and gameplay. But with this, I definitely didn't have a complete handle on exactly how to do things well right off the bat. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to kill these dragons. I just ran through them, honestly. But when I came back to this level later, I was able to beat them no problem. The gameplay, in a nutshell, is great. You can upgrade the potions that you throw, and you can also upgrade your burst ability, which I highly recommend. Float burst should be the default. It is by far the best one. You float down slowly after using your burst, making the control feel a lot better. The upgrades for the potions are also really in-depth. Like, really in-depth. You can change the case, powder, and fuse, all of which have many options available to buy. You can combine different choices together. It is very customizable. For the record, I'm boring, so I usually just left it on default, but there were a few spots in the game where changing my casing and powders did help me quite a bit. The plot of this DLC takes place simultaneously with the original game. In fact, you can see Shovel Knight on his quest as you go about yours, which is very clever. And when you get to the Explodatorium level, which, by the way, amazing name, I freaking love the name Explodatorium, you would usually fight Plague Knight at the end. Obviously, you don't fight him here since you're him, so instead, you fight Shovel Knight. And technically, you lose. In order for it to make sense with the original plot of Shovel Knight, he wins, and then you just rob him while he's sleeping at the fireplace. This scene actually had me laughing a lot when it first happened. I really didn't see it coming. The world you're walking around is the same as before, but now it feels a bit different because, well, everyone hates you. Guards that loved Shovel Knight hate Plague Knight. People run away from you or sometimes even attack you. Oh, but that one traveling knight that thought Shovel Knight was a villain or something? Yeah, they love you. They trust you completely. God, this writing is really funny. Plague Knight's goal is to make a potion that will make him so powerful that he can have whatever he wants. Even love? Yeah, so spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about the plot in a bit more detail from here on. I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but I am going to be talking about some stuff that happens throughout the game. So if you really don't want the plot of this game spoiled, then long story short, the game's good, go play it. But anyway, the plot in this game is actually kind of a romance, and it's actually not bad. I was surprised how much I actually surprisingly cared about Plague Knight and Mona's relationship. They make these two characters pretty adorable, honestly, even though they're sort of in villainous roles. The game even manages to end on a very touching note, just like the original game. It's actually kind of weird when you think about it. I mean, this is a game called Shovel Knight. They're magical creatures all over the place. There's half-horse people, they're just goofy characters left and right. There's a half-trout, half-apple king that does a butt dance. It's a very ridiculous game that still manages to somehow have a funny, touching, and very compelling plot. Twice. It did it twice. The potion that Plague Knight wants to create requires the essence of each knight in the land, which is the reason why Plague Knight has to play through each of the same worlds that Shovel Knight did and fight the same bosses. After only a few levels of this DLC, I was already blown away with how much content was available. Sure, the levels are more or less the same. In fact, the levels at most times are exactly the same as they were before, just with slight tweaks. But you know what? It doesn't feel like it. Because of the different style of gameplay, these familiar levels feel completely new and different. It feels almost like a completely different game. It's very impressive how they did this. And also, playing into the fact that these levels are the same, you can actually find one of Shovel Knight's power-ups in each level. But to you, it's just a useless piece of trash. I have higher standards than that. You get your actual power-ups from Chester, just like in the original game. But now you can trade him one of Shovel Knight's power-ups to get yours for free. And it explains how Chester came into possession of all of these relics. Although, now I'm wondering how he came into contact with these power-ups. And yes, that's right. On top of all the customizable potion and burst abilities, you also have power-ups, which just further the gameplay even more. For some reason I won't fit. I mean, this space was obviously built for me to stand in, but I just can't figure it out. This hard puzzle. I mean, why won't Plague Knight fit into this? Oh god. Okay, it actually works. That's pretty funny. Your health works differently than it did before. You start off with 4 hearts of health, and instead of being able to upgrade it whenever you want, you can use health potions which increase your maximum heart count until the next time you die. Every time you stumble across a health elixir but have full inventory, you're obviously going to drink one and then pick it up. I mean, why wouldn't you? So basically how it ends up working is the longer I stay alive, the more health I have stacking up. Which is cool. It adds another level of that classic, oh god, I don't want to die feeling. Although if I had to nitpick, I would say that this game should just automatically consume the elixir when I walk over it if I'm already carrying 5. I mean, when would I ever not want to drink one? It kind of just feels like busy work. This guy over here tells me about the Troupple King and how to summon him, and then he'll dance for me. And now Plague Knight wants to learn how to dance from him so that he can impress Mona. And he actually does. After sitting through a brand new butt-shaking Troupple King dance, you can actually dance yourself by just pressing down. Look at that masked man, dancing majestically. Unless you're with Mona, because if you're standing near her, he won't dance. He's too shy. Oh, and the Troupple King offers you armor instead of potions now. And as is tradition, I will be getting the most expensive golden armor that does nothing but make me look cooler. Because that's just how I roll. And I mean, come on, it increases jubilance by 200%. The game is a lot more difficult this time around, and I do think that that's what they were going for. During some parts of the last 2 levels, it got pretty damn hard. For example, I could not for the life of me kill Black Knight in his 3rd fight. When he grows those damn wings, I can't friggin' hit him. I also find myself breaking far less checkpoints this time around. But hey, it's not bad. Just because something's hard doesn't mean it's unfair. It may be difficult and frustrating at times, but that just means that when you finally manage to beat it, it just feels so good. But I will say, I think I probably enjoyed the original Shovel Knight campaign just a little bit more. It was easier to understand what to do, and it was a bit less complex, with slightly less things to upgrade and less options for customization like that, which, for me personally, made it more approachable. But hey, overall, this DLC is friggin' awesome. On top of the very good gameplay and vast amount of new content, I was surprisingly invested in the plot. I love these characters. Every villager, every boss, and every supporting character is just written so well. I was surprisingly invested in the relationship between Plague Knight and Mona, and for some reason, seeing Polar Knight and Black Knight hanging out at the end during the credits just made me feel so happy. I don't know why, I guess I just like reunions. And lastly, it's amazing that this is completely free. I mean, bravo, Yacht Club Games, bravo! Oh, but did you think we were done? No. I have one last thing to quickly talk about. Amiibo!
Amiibo!
In case you can't see or just have no cognitive thought at all, I love Amiibo. They line my walls. It's actually becoming kind of a problem. Thank God the Smash Brothers line is almost done. And they actually released an Amiibo for Shovel Knight. What does it do? It unlocks multiplayer. Yes, multiplayer Shovel Knight. I don't really have much to say about it, but I figured it was worth mentioning here at the end. And I figured right, because the multiplayer is fun. It doesn't feel annoying or frustrating like New Super Mario Bros., it's just a decent multiplayer mode. It's all the fun of playing Shovel Knight, but now with 2 people. At the end of each level, you get judged on how well you did, and the game declares a winner between the 2 players. For the record, I'm that one. I promise. And I'm the other one. So, yeah, like I said, there's not really much to say about it. It's just sort of a basic, good multiplayer. But I thought it was worth mentioning, and I just wanted to say, I am eternally grateful to finally have an Amiibo that I can use while it's still in the box. And with that, we are actually done. I think I've rambled on about how much I love this game enough. If you want to know more about it, then play it. If you still haven't even played Shovel Knight, then what is wrong with you? It is such an amazing game. Play it. Play the main game, play the multiplayer, play the DLC, play it all. You will definitely get your money's worth. Okay, something's clearly wrong with this game. I didn't mean to fall down that hole there. Must be a glitch or something. Stop reviewing the game. Just stop. And why are there so many rats in this game? I mean, this game has a serious infestation problem.